Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
I think overall, the whole film put together is great. Like, casting was great. The first part of the story was great. The visual effects were brilliant, and I think this is going to do well for a lot of people, especially fans of the actual, like, for the original.
There's a crusade coming. Dad, what if I'm not the future of House Atreides?
It's time.
Sorry, that was really good. I'm proud of that.
Oh, that's a good
I
way
hope
to
your mum
begin.
doesn't watch this. Hey guys, and welcome back to Fortune Theory. Here we are again for another Friday night edition. Our main bulk episodes, or well, I suppose it's kind of bulk. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're here to talk about the latest release in our cinematic chain for the year of 2021 with the release of Dune.
Indeed.
Spelled D-U-N-E rather than the month spelling, or the girl spelling, depending on, like, you know, names for people and whatnot. Yeah, so doesn't sound like anything it's about, but yeah, I'm gonna cut to Patrick because we just watched it. We just come back from the cinema now. And yeah, so we should have done this yesterday, really, because it came out yesterday, didn't it? Officially, I think. Did it?
Well, we just never get round to stuff, do we, on time?
No.
So, like, it's Thursday night, right? We saw it midday, and it's Thursday night. So,
yeah, well, we
That's fun of
decided to get some. We decided to get some food. So yeah.
what becomes an hour becomes 6 hours.
I can't say no to those McFlurries from Mackey's, right?
If the machine works, that's it.
Yeah, if the
Good
machine
point.
actually ever bothers to work. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. I watched this and I've never read the books. I've never seen the original film. So, well, book, I suppose, because they've got so many different covers of it. It just looks like loads of different new content. But book, I suppose, book, film, any other adaptation of it. I've gone into this freshly clean. I've not seen anything like this before, and I honestly had no clue. It was enjoyable, but I had no clue what was going on half the time. And I kind of wish it was called, spoilers, Dune Part 1, considering Part 2 comes out next year, the year after, which kind of finishes off the second half of the book.
Yeah. It's just a big ass story that.
And did you want to elaborate?
Yeah. So for people that don't know what Dune or Dune, however you prefer to pronounce it, it is originally,
or don't understand it, like me.
Dune or Dune is a sort of science fiction, adventure, thriller, drama, multi-genre sort of, as IMDb calls it, a mythic and emotional charged hero's journey. David Lynch, the art house artistic as fuck director that has made such things as Twin Peaks, that series, he made the original, and it was kind of like a flop, really. It bombed. As far as I know, anyway. I don't know how it did financially, but I think it just wasn't the most. I think it was just one of those things where he had a creative idea, but the studio was like, nah, you're going to have all these changes, as far as I know, anyway. As far as I've, read and, watched reviews about it.
Kind of sounds, well, the original one's really old, isn't it? So they wouldn't already have the technology to back them up very well regarding its production, so it would have been a bit naff.
And
from the trailer anyway. I saw the trailer for the original. It does look a little bit.
Well, it's obviously it's clearly dated now, but even so, it's it's just. I believe it wasn't his most favorite piece of work because of studio interference. I think anyway. But the new one, Denis Villeneuve, the Blade Runner 2049 director, Prisoners director, Arrival director, Sicario director. I'm trying to think off the top of my head other films I've watched from him. He's an amazing director, but yeah, most people might know him for Blade Runner 2049. Probably it's it's the biggest sort of blockbuster he's done. That's most notable. And he has been a lifelong child of this story, and he decided to sort of adapt it and retell it, basically remake it. So It now features obviously this brand new ensemble. We've got like every single franchise of cast from
Yeah, I was
literally.
gonna say that.
Like...
Literally, they like, even though I didn't really get the characters, they were casted very well, and it was very like random. So you got, what's his name? Is it, I can't pronounce his name for shit. Timothy what the hell is his last name? I don't want to say it because I know it'd be wrong.
I believe it's Timothy Chalamet. I believe
Chalamet. Okay.
Chalamet.
He's the other like Hollywood hotshot male, like alongside Tom Holland, who tracks all the attention. They're like, we want him in anything we do. There's a rumor that he's going to be in the new Spider-Man film as well, but take that with a grain of salt. Then obviously you got Zendaya. You've got Josh Brolin and Thanos. He basically just sounds like Thanos in this. Are you smiling? I am smiling. Like just that guy. Then you got, I was going to call him Arthur Curry, but obviously that's his character's name is Aquaman. The actor who played Aquaman. Can't think what his name is. You've got Oscar Isaacs, who's I think going to play Moon Knight later on in the MCU, going forward. You've got Dave Bautista, who is playing basically evil, paler Drax. I'm sorry, your CT scans don't go very well. And Stellan Skarsgård, who's put me off the idea of liking Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, just because he's
I apologise to any actual Dune fans here and all these references to Marvel, but it's going to be
has morphed with like the guy from Star Wars who just dribbles everywhere, like that guy, whatever he's called. Yeah, and for some reason has like a truck tire on his back, which I forgot to mention to Pat during the film. For whatever reason, that's again. Excuse me.
But
I've never seen this, so I'm brand new to this. Like this film brand,
much more of, and clearly by the title, I hope I labelled this. This isn't a Dune original fans breakdown and review, because even I still don't know. I can't go like into 20 minutes of in-depth like breakdown and analysis of this.
Yeah, but I know you haven't read the book. I know you.
I've not watched the original film or the book, so I'm probably not considered a true fan of this. But I appreciate the fan base of it, and the first time I looked, I just like read a basic summary of Dune, and I've watched the original trailers of like you'd have of Dune, and I've liked it. It's a story that it's engrossed me and looks, to me, like as big as like Star Wars in terms of like how much I like it, and like as much as like the story like to me is like
it did feel very like Star Warsy.
Well,
like
and it's
the whole
like
idea
interstellar,
the whole idea, yeah. You stole the word right out of my mouth.
Interstellar.
Yeah. Yeah, and then something about spice as well, like
Well,
yeah,
this
film's
kind
got a lot
of the whole like it's the kind of the MacGuffin in a way, but not really of this entire thing. It's basically like
No, it didn't feel like the MacGuffin. But...
It was a large plot device though, anyway, because it was sort of a surrounding plot device that wasn't linked to any major.
In a way, I suppose his dreams were more of the MacGuffin, really, weren't they? Because it was the whole idea of him predicting the future, which is why he kind of was like on this path, I suppose, a little bit more. Like the whole reason he had the consultation with like the man, like the high.
Yeah.
I want to call her like a high priestess. She had a fucking net over her face for some reason. Like just
costumes
the woman at the beginning.
Were insane for this. Like, I mean, the whole point of the design, I believe, was that they just wanted them to be like as unearth-like as possible and not like a normal clothes that humans would wear. And
what was the year it was? What was the year it was set in again? Like 10,183 or something.
What is the exact year? 10,000. I forget the exact year.
10,183 or 836 or something like that. It was a long fucking number. Sorry.
10,191. And yeah. Oh, okay. Dune 2 is in production. There we go.
Is it actually called Dune 2?
It's Dune pre-production. I don't know what it's got. It's currently it's just called Dune 2. That's most likely, almost definitely a working title.
It's Dune Part 2, I bet. It'd make more sense for it to be called Dune Part 2.
Well, it does say Dune Part 2 in Timothy Chalamet's IMDb, and then when you click on it, it says Dune 2. But it's again, this isn't really a breakdown or it's our review. It's what we think of it. I know a little bit more than Ollie does already. Although none of us have neither of us have watched the original, and I don't read books, so.
Well, no, you can't. So, I think personally, for a film, I think it's great. It's recommendable. It's worth a watch. Although there was a few scenes that kind of, even though they were quick, they still felt like they dragged, and I think it was just simply due to they spent too much time explaining things and not enough time showing things. And then when they showed things like action, it was really quick.
Yeah.
Or it just wasn't. It didn't intrigue you enough in moments. But like, I think overall the whole film put together is great. Like, casting was great. The first part of the story was great. The visual effects were brilliant and much better than from what I saw from the trailer for the original. And I think this is going to do well for a lot of people, especially fans of the actual.
Such a.
I want to call it a brand, like the brand, the franchise, I suppose.
It basically is, because like it's, to fans, it is like it's Star Wars big. Obviously, it hasn't got as many, sequels and prequels, and it's not got such a big story to an extent. I mean, it kind of has. I believe books are so big and vast that they go into as much detail as franchises like Star Trek and Star Wars do. So it is huge. So gargantuan story. So if you've never seen Dune, start with this. It's an adaptation. It's insane.
It's what I did, guys. But yeah.
I mean, I remember. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the first time I actually heard of Dune, like the book first.
Well, I went to a town with my friend Todd.
Yeah.
And we were our local town. We were just looking around, and we walked into a HMV store, and I saw the book advertised because obviously the new film was coming out later this year. Obviously, here we are. And he was telling me about it. It's like, oh, I'm looking forward to this. I was like, what's this then? It was just like, oh, they made the original film. It wasn't very good, but now they're doing a remake with the same sort of people, with the whole brand new main core cast.
Yeah.
Of Hollywood stars, and it's going to be just 10 times better because it's catched up visually, of the era, so they can actually make a lot of these things work now based on the books. Everyone's dying to see it. Everyone's dying to see. We had the original in my cinema showing a couple of days ago, so everyone was dying to see that as well, just to get back into the idea of what the story's about, I suppose. But yeah.
Again, we apologise for not being. We're new fans to this, hence the title. And
well, why don't you give it a breakdown as much as you can from what you understand about it,
so
give me bits and pieces here and there.
For people that don't know the story of Dune,
spoiler review from this point, by the way.
If we haven't. Based on Frank Herbert's science fiction about the son of a noble family entrusted with the protection of the most valuable asset and the most vital element in the galaxy. I am going to be literally reading the storyline so I don't waffle and go I can explain it properly, basically. So, like I said, a mythic and emotionally charged hero's journey. Dune tells the story of Paul Atreides, a brilliant and gifted young man born into a great destiny beyond his understanding. Must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and people. As malevolent forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resource in existence, a commodity capable of unlocking humanity's greatest potential. Only those who can conquer their fear will survive. Basically, Paul Atreides, who is the father of the Duke of the House of Atreides, they're the protagonist. They're the good people, the good side of the galaxy, and then we got Harkonnens, who are the antagonists, the villains of the galaxy, and they obviously all want this valuable asset and this spice that is on Arrakis and obviously Harkonnen, the villains of the galaxy, they want to do it in whatever inhumane, immoral. They just want it. They just want it badly, no matter what the cost. And Atreides want to really. They want it, but they obviously value the fact that there are indigenous people, the Firmin, who live on Arrakis and want to help them, but also that's why there's a big complex story of them basically going to Arrakis and sort of taking over politely, but also saying, we give you protection, we want to take over this supply, but whilst this is your planet, we're going to make sure that we don't want to sort of just come here and bombard you with our existence and our lifestyle. But that happens to a certain extent, but I don't want to spoil it. So yeah, definitely watch it. I don't actually know worldwide release. Is it out worldwide now?
I've no idea. I'm assuming it is. Yeah. Sorry, I've just
obviously it came out. It came out today. Well, yesterday. We're recording this today, so it came out today in the UK. Came out in Italy. Oh, that's the premiere. Yeah, we're late actually. We got it late. Thanks, sir. Yeah, it basically comes out now. Unfortunately, Australia get it in December. Sorry, Australia, but yeah, it's out in cinemas now. Probably go on demand. Actually, I think it's going to have an exclusive run on HBO Max because there was a big controversy over it getting the fact that obviously all sort of streaming services, they want same day streaming service and theatrical release, and a lot of this director especially, but Christopher Nolan and some other directors, they'd rather the theatrical release once DVDs come out and a sort of 6 months to a year later. So I think it's premiered on HBO Max on the 21st, and it will be available for. Okay, so it's right. So it's available on HBO Max for 31 days. So it's going to basically be here for just over a month on HBO Max, and then probably in theaters for maybe just over 2 months, maybe. But there we go. Again, we're not Ollie is the new Dune fan, whether you're slowly going to learn the story or not.
I'll probably be more intrigued once part 2 comes out. Not gonna lie, because that's just who I am. Once it becomes a bit more of a big deal going forward. But
once the full story is elapsed,
I'm intrigued by the initial concept of it. I think so. I might.
Well, that's what got me. I'm not a brand new fan. I've known this story for a number of years now. I say a number of years, maybe 3 or 4, and I've watched the original trailer a bunch of times. I never got around to watching the original, and then by the time I would have considered it, this was in the works. This new one, so it's worth watching because it's I'm now a fan of the story. I've ever since being able to. So it's really annoying because if sometimes you like the idea, or you like a story, but you don't like how it's presented, either in whatever form, book form or audio form, video form, in film or TV form. But which sort of why I wasn't ever that sure about it, because it's a thing, in my personal opinion, older films, especially basically any film that isn't modern now, I have to sort of really force myself, unless it's an insane story, I have to really force myself to be okay, I kind of like this, but then new adaptation.
Well, don't force yourself to like stuff if you don't like it. Just like what you naturally just like, what you just jump to.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't just like it because the whole medium likes it. Hence why I've not really heard or acknowledged this much until now, because the initial concept I'm interested in now, because obviously I've watched the film, but it didn't really drag me in beforehand. Watch this because it's new. But not saying I don't like it, but it needs to grow
Well,
on me. I
it's
think.
one of those things that is either you read it you read up on it once and you fall in love with the idea of it and want to see it or read it, or you're not sure about it and you need to watch the entire thing before you love it. So, I'm definitely the begin. We're both two extremes. You're like waiting for the second one, basically, waiting for the full story to be out, and well, me too. I'm wanting
Although
to. See
that is going to annoy me because I'm going to wish I could just merge the two films into one, because that would be like, completed story.
You merged two films together. Hello, I need to wash my hair out. The guy that loves sequels and franchises.
Well, yeah, but it's not though, is it? It's like just part two to this main story. It's like the second half of the book. So
you could say that for a lot of films. We need to do another franchises versus standalone again, just us two or something. That'd be hilarious again. But yeah,
I do apologize that I'm not big on this brand like the way I am on other brands. I just can't help but reference a lot most of the time on videos.
We needed to talk about this though because it's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to see if I would like this as much as I did, and I
think this will definitely, because I don't know what else Timothy's been in, like especially as a lead role. Like I feel like this is the first film I've really known him from. I can't picture him, but apparently he's like Hollywood. He's like Hollywood's hotspot boy, along with like Tom Holland. And I'm like, well, I've only seen Tom Holland in things, so I guess I've just not had any interest in anything you've been in.
He's not been in things that you would watch though. Like,
yeah, that's probably why, isn't it? Yeah.
He's not been in anything Marvel.
Well, he's not been in Marvel. He's not been in Fast and Furious. He's not been in like. He wasn't in Squid Game because that was obviously Korean. He's not been in any like Netflix.
Well, it's like a lot of actors nowadays. You obviously audition for thousands of independent films and TV series, and then like randomly, you go from like this random independent film to then a big independent film, and then
what has he been in?
His biggest breakthrough was probably I mean,
because I feel like this will definitely broaden his horizon more than it already has. Like this film, his role in this film is so great. Like he'll be given like auditions for loads of different projects going forward.
I mean, he's been in
like I think, like I said, there's a rumor that he's going to be in Spider-Man: No Way Home, but I don't know for sure.
Because he's not much of a franchise guy. Almost everything he's been in has been a one and done. Is a one story thing. He's been in Interstellar, Miss Stevens, Call Me By Your Name, Hot Summer Nights, Lady Bird, Hostiles, Horror Show, Beautiful Boy, A Rainy Day in New York. The King was good. I would actually review The King, but it's been a while now. Little Woman, French Dispatch, obviously Dune, Don't Look Up, Bones and All. Oh yeah, he's in the new Wonka, the new like young Willy Wonka remake. So that will probably be something we talk about because, oh my god, I don't know if you've ever watched Key and Peele. This is a hilarious like Comedy Central YouTube skits. Two comedians, actually, Jordan Peele, who is the Get Out and Us director. He's in that. That's where he came from really, and. Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key is in Willy Wonka and he looks hilarious.
Yeah,
he's got like a fat suit and it's just hilarious. But yeah, there we go. Dune. I thought this adaptation, I don't have anything to base it on. I thought it was insane. It's probably my favorite film of the year. And I can't wait for part 2 of it basically. So go watch it in cinemas now, unless you're in Australia. Wait till November.
Yeah. But sorry, guys, you got it last.
There we go. But there we go, mates. So we'll see you in November, and right. So here's the thing. Not that anyone probably cares about this. I was going to say leave it in the comments, but it's not a separate. Actually, yeah, leave it in the comments. The Last Duel comes out today, as when you're seeing this, and
I mean, I'm intrigued by that because it's got Adam Driver in it, and so are a lot of pensioners apparently. Because it's obviously
if you want us to review it, as like a sort of second review this week, then we will do for sure. But otherwise,
It kind of comes under the grey area that a lot of podcasters, and now probably including ourselves, also have, where it's the whole idea of a film that we, in our personal opinions, don't have much passion for and think is a bunch of utter tripe. Which is usually an animated kids film, which is why we don't really talk about them here. But like, you know, if you want us to talk about just plain old anything, even if it's like, you know, what have we got out at the moment at my work? So regarding kids, we've got like Addams Family 2 and like I think Crudes 2 just came out as well. Like, as we had that on for a few weeks, and you know, if you want us to talk about more like, you know, just anything in particular, just let us know. Like, if you'd rather just us keep to these more like specific videos now, talking about like Marvel or Dune or DC or even possibly The Last Duel now, based off the fact we just mentioned it, or you know, Harry Potter or Fast and Furious or anything Christopher Nolan for this guy, then you know,
the French Dispatch comes out today.
Yeah, French Dispatch. That's another one. Yeah, which I've just read up also has Timothy Chalamet in it as well. As it does James Franco. And I effing love James Franco.
He's in it. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure he is anyway. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he is anyway. I saw him in the poster. I love Wes Anderson though. He literally makes live action look so creepy and so animated. And he makes animation look so creepy in live action. It's weird. He loves
artistic style is amazing.
He loves establishing shots.
He's a fan of he's most known for square frame symmetry and just like sort of comedic framing sometimes. Well, very often comedic.
It's also
framing.
Movement. It's also movement as well. Like, as there's two shots in the trailer where a woman like. No.
What?
No, I haven't. I echoed.
Well, I can't see you.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. There's also. Oh, that's what you meant. There's like two shots in the trailer where a woman picks up like a tray of like, you know, teas and saucepans and cups or whatever, and then she's like walking up steps, and the shot is like, it's not symmetrical, but it's an establishing shot, and it's like you can her walk, her move. I think it was her in that shot anyway. Looked very animated, and it's just like these are like live action humans.
Like he has such a particular. I feel like for people that don't know Wes Anderson and they have to go onto a Wes Anderson shoot as like a talent in it, they have to be given the specific directions. Whereas if you know you're going onto a Wes Anderson set, it's just like, you know that you're going to be, you know, walking like such a caricature and like just like, so you know you're going to be a bit immobile.
You know that you're going to be slightly immobilized, like, you know, like you've got, you know, you might as well embrace having cramp in your leg, sort of thing, just to get some good movement in there. But yeah,
but he is brilliant. That comes out today, so we'll probably talk about that when we get around to seeing it.
We do apologise for running late. We do have quite busy schedules at the moment, but hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll manage to catch up again. What comes out next week? That's the big question. We've got nothing out now.
Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Sorry.
That's really the Eternals in like 2 weeks.
Eternals on the 5th of November.
Remember.
So that'll probably be like the next big one that we'll watch and review for you guys. Unless there's anything.
As of basically now, we will be working on, and more so probably Ollie will be doing like breaking down more so. We'll be doing our own like solo breakdowns and reviews things, because I know that there's like half the time
there's things that I know. I think this video probably proves it more than anything. Not to cut you off. Sorry.
I really wish I didn't cut to me then. That would have been brilliant to stay on you.
Great. At least tell me you've got that, or you can use that. Oh, did it work? No. Okay. Bless me. Okay. So, as proven in this video, again, sorry to cut you off. We've got this thing where obviously we clearly like not only talk over each other, but obviously he talks about films that he likes. He as in Patrick, this guy, and obviously I talk about stuff that I like. And sometimes we can't always make it work. So we've decided that to make it some of these videos a bit more copeable for our audience at home, we've decided that on the odd occasion we might go our separate ways and we'll do individual videos for the channel.
And it's also for more info. Sorry, as well. Like it's for the fact that I've got a video in the works about the Forgotten Battle on Netflix. That'll probably be coming out next week. It's a bit late, but it's just the fact I haven't worked on it yet. I haven't recorded it. And I'll probably talk myself about Dune in more detail. I'll probably watch it again. A French Dispatch, I'll probably do in more detail as well. And then for Marvel fans, you'll probably get a video from Ollie talking about the Eternals in more detail, and not just have a solo review. So, for instance, for the French Dispatch, we'll probably do, if it's a big film or big-ish film, we'll still do a big breakdown of it. But then, for more sort of in-depth information, check out Ollie's breakdown on it. For more in-depth information on, the Eternals, check Ollie's breakdown. For more information on The Last Duel, check out my breakdown, so on and so forth, depending on which one snags our interest.
You probably could have explained that any better.
Something like the card counter, for instance. Like the 5th of November, the same day as Eternals, the card counter comes out, which is a very independent-looking film, which I doubt you'll want to watch. So
it's got my name in it, but got part of my name in it.
But I'll be breaking down that and other things like that. Just every odd film or show that one of us prefers over the other, we'll either do a solo review on it ourselves, or we'll do a main video and review. So there we go. June, everyone, though. Go check it out in cinemas at the moment, and
this video is sponsored by just to break for a brief moment. This video is sponsored by HDMI cables. Make sure you get one, get some, and then you can watch exclusive Now TV and any of your smart TV devices. And you can do a Jeremy Clarkson when you get 5 from Top Gear. I recently became busy.
That
we don't actually, but we'd love for someone to actually like have us, offer us to sponsor you in our videos. That would be really great one day. In the meantime, I'm just gonna keep the long going joke until someone actually gets bored of it.
Trying to find good advertising in my room. I can't find anything. This video.
In the meantime, this video is sponsored by Rope. So.
Oh, what did you do last time? This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Get some. This video is sponsored by Esso. Get some.
No, get some. I don't know. I can't remember how.
But before we make like a 45-minute video, again, thanks for
£2 for every time this video is sponsored by something. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, I cut you off. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, before we make a 45-minute video, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on maybe tomorrow. Well, whenever we can get around to watching The French Dispatch.
Well, we say tomorrow. It's like 20 to 12, Thursday, the 21st of October. So yeah. Until the next time, guys. Toodles. Stay safe. This video is sponsored by HDMI cables. Make sure you get one. Get some.